After years of research, I have realized what a unique situation Mark and Mary presented me. Seldom do I meet a couple who have both the same love language. Uh, thank you. After years of research, I realized what a unique situation Mark and Mary presented me. Seldom do I meet a couple who have both the same love language. For both Mary and Mark, acts of service was their primary love language. Hundreds of individuals can identify with either Mark or Mary and acknowledge that the primary way that they feel love is by acts of service on the part of their spouse. Putting away shoes, changing a baby's diaper, washing dishes or a car, vacuuming or mowing speaks volumes to the individual whose primary love language is acts of service. You may be wondering if Mark and Mary had the same primary love language, why they were having so much difficulty. The answer lies in the fact that they were speaking different dialects. They were doing things for each other, but not the most important things. When they were forced to think concretely, they easily identified their specific dialects. For Mary, it was washing the car, changing the baby's diaper, vacuuming the floor, and mowing the grass, whereas for Mark, it was making up the bed, washing the baby's face, putting the shoes in the closet, and having supper underway when he got home from work. When they started speaking the right dialects, their love tanks began to fill. Since acts of service was their primary love language, learning each other's specific dialect was relatively easy for them. Before we leave Mark and Mary, I would like to make three other observations. First, they illustrate clearly that what we do for each other before marriage is no indication of what we would do after marriage. Before marriage, we are carried along by the force of the in-love obsession. After marriage, we revert to being the people we were before we revert to being the people we were before we fell in love. After marriage, we revert to being the people we were before we fell in love. Our actions are influenced by the model of our parents, our own personality, our perceptions of love, our emotions, needs, and desires. Only one thing is certain about our behavior. It will not be the same behavior we exhibited when we were caught up in being in love. This leads me to the second truth illustrated by Mark and Mary. Love is a choice and cannot be coerced. Mark and Mary were criticizing each other's behavior and getting nowhere. Once they decided to make requests of each other rather than demand, their marriage began to turn around. Criticism and demand tend to drive wedges. With enough criticism, you may get acquiescence from your spouse. He may do what you want, but eventually probably will not be an expression of love. You can give guidance to love by making requests. I wish you would wash the car, change the baby's diaper, mow the grass, but you cannot create the will to love. Each of us must decide daily to love or not to love our spouses. If we choose to love, then expressing it in the way in which our spouse requests will make our love most thank you. If we choose to love, then expressing it in the way which our spouse requests will make our love most effective emotionally. There is a third truth which only the mature lover will be able to hear. My spouse criticism about my behavior provide me with a clear screw to her primary love language. People tend to criticize their spouse most loudly in the area where they themselves have the deepest emotional need. Their criticism is an effective way of pleading for love. If we understand that it may help us process their criticism in a more productive manner, a wife might say to her husband after he gives her a criticism, "It sounds like this is extremely important to you. Could you explain why it is so crucial?" Um, Criticism often needs clarification. Initiating such a conversation may eventually turn the criticism into a request rather than a demand. Mary's constant condemnation of Mark's hunting was not an expression of her hatred for the sport of hunting. She blamed hunting as the thing that kept him from washing the car, vacuuming the house, and mowing the grass. When he learned to meet her need for love by speaking her emotional language, she became free to support him in his hunting. Doormat or lover? I have served him for 20 years. I have waited on him hand and foot. I have been his doormat while he ignored me, mistreated me, and humiliated me in front of my friends and family. I don't hate him. I wish him no ill, but I resent him, and I no longer wish to live with him. That wife has performed acts of service for 20 years, but they have not been expressions of love. They were done out of fear, guilt, and resentment. Due to sociological changes of the past 30 years, there is no longer a common stereotype of the male and female role in American society. A doormat is an inanimate object. You might feed on it, step on it, kick it around, or whatever you like. It has no will of its own. It can be your servant, but not your lover. When we treat our spouses as objects, we preclude the possibility of love. Manipulation by guilt. If you were a good spouse, you would do for me is not the language of love. Coercion by fear. You will do this or you will be sorry is an alien to love. No person should ever be a doormat. We may allow ourselves to be used, but we are in fact creatures of emotion, thoughts, and desires, and we have the ability to make decisions and take action. Allowing oneself to be used or manipulated by another is not an act of love. It is in fact an act of treason. You are allowing him or her to develop inhumane habits. Love says, I love you too much to let you treat me this way. It is not good for you or me.